Payback. Chapter 35. Before present time. 3 months later. The night that Jacob and I went out for dinner was the start of our relationship. We watched a funny movie that evening. Later he bought dinner and we ate in his car before he drove me to Sky's house. When he pulled up at her gate, he grabbed my hand and kissed me hard. That was my first kiss and it was everything I had always imagined it would be. We started talking more after that night and before long, I was head over heels in love with him. Jacob was giving me so much attention. I was flattered having never had someone of the opposite sex pay any attention to me. He persuaded me into sleeping with him eventually. He taught me everything I needed to know about sex and we would sext regularly. Because I would spend nights talking to him on the phone, my schoolwork got affected and my parents were called at school to explain what was going on with me. I hardly paid attention in class. My mind was always occupied with thoughts of Jacob. My parents had a talk with me after that. They thought I was just stressed and needed to take time off to rest. It wasn't long after this when Mama Hyde found my phone on the table while I was in the bathroom and she went through it. Asterisk. What's this? She held my phone up to me. She tried to keep her voice steady but I could tell she was really furious. Why do you have my phone and were you going through it? I asked, feeling busted. I came in to call you out for dinner but you were in your bathroom and your phone kept vibrating so I got curious. Autumn, who is Jacob? Is he the reason you haven't been doing well at school? Are you having sex with this boy? Luckily there was no photo of Jacob on his DP and he hadn't sent me any photos so there was no way she could know he wasn't just a boy but a man old enough to be my father. You have no right to go through my phone. I grabbed the phone from her and walked past her to my bed. Autumn, you have started having sex. Who is this boy from? What did we say about dating before high school? I decided not to respond and boy was she angry with me. She shook me roughly. I am talking to you. What do you want to hear, Mama Hyde? Yes, I have a boyfriend and we are having sex. How's that any of your business? I said louder than I intended to. How dare you talk to me like that? She slapped me so hard across my face that I actually saw stars. You will not see this boy again. I am giving you a minute to text him and tell him you will not see him again. After that you will give me back that phone. I am keeping it for you until after high school. You can't do that, Mama Hyde. I just did and from now onwards no sleepovers. No dates at the mall with Sky. I will expect you to be home every day from school by 17. Are we clear? Tears began to fall down my face. That's slavery, I blurted out. I just hope you used protection because there isn't enough space in this house for a bastard child, she said angrily and walked out. As soon as she walked out, I texted Jacob and told him what had happened. He promised to pick me from school the next day so we could talk and I agreed. Deleting his contact and our conversations, I got dressed, walked out of the room and handed the phone to Mama Hyde. From the look Papa J gave me at the dinner table that evening I knew my mother had told him about Jacob. I forced myself to eat and after that retired to my room but not to sleep. Throughout that night I turned and tossed, until morning found me worn out with my night of anxiety. Getting out of bed, I took a bath and got ready for school. Mama Hyde drove me to school. The ride was quiet, the tension between us was too loud. I expect you back home by 17, she said as she pulled up in front of the school gate. My parents usually dropped me off at school in the morning. When knocking off I preferred to walk home with my friends. Okay, I said, opening the door. I am serious, Autumn. If you dare come late I will start picking you up from school every day. I heard Mum. I slammed the door and headed to class. I didn't pay attention in class that day. My mind kept racing. I couldn't wait to see Jacob. He needed to find a solution about our predicament. I couldn't afford to give up on him. As soon as classes ended that day I rushed out of class. Where are you rushing to? Sky asked when she caught up with me. I can't tell you about it today. Let's talk tomorrow. I love you. I dashed off before she could protest. I found Jacob parked a few miles away from our school so I got into the car and he drove off. He drove us to one of his houses where we usually met from. It was in this same house that I lost my virginity a month ago. He kissed me intensely as soon as we entered his house. I missed you so much, my little doll. I missed you too, but I can't stay here for long. My mother gave me a curfew. I have to be home by 17. She says we can't see each other again. You can't allow your parents to keep us apart. I love you and I know you love me too. I don't want to be away from you. What are we going to do? I got you a new phone. There's a SIM card in it. We shall use it to communicate, but you need to be careful. Your parents shouldn't find out about me and how old I am. They won't understand what we feel for each other. When you are done with school, I will come and avail myself to them, then I will marry you. And we will live happily ever after. I smiled. Yes, my darling. I will take you around the world. We will make beautiful babies together. So he gave me the phone and drove me home, and I managed to hide it from my parents. Even though my parents forbade me from seeing Jacob, I was determined to stay with him. We would talk and text almost every time, and I would sneak out of the house each chance I got to see him. Asterisk. Ella B.